What's up, guys? I am your host with the most, your Snap DJ, and I'm here with another episode of Snap Decisions, and I have a very special guest. I've been chatting with this guy for quite a while. I actually know him from his Galactus deck, of course, at the beginning, and that's when I found it. I'm like, yes, got to do this. But I have BlackDama with me today, man. How are you doing?
Yo, what's up, Joe, man? Thank you for having me on. I'm super excited to be here. It's so amazing. Everything's popping off, and yeah, I still can't fathom everything. And yeah, I'm glad to be here and glad to play Marvel Snap. Glad to hook people up, and yeah, let's get this.
Yeah, man. I'm super excited to have you. I know, you've got everybody on edge now, waiting for the next deck from you, which is that's fantastic, dude. Like, I love your teases and everything too. That's great, man. You show a little picture here, a little picture there. I'm like, yep, it's coming soon. That's some smart marketing, dude. That's amazing. I love that, man. In this day and age, it's fun. I get it. It's fun. The other podcast I do, has a lot of that incorporated in it, a lot of teasers and things. And it's just fun stuff, man. It makes some anticipation, gets people excited for it. So I love that, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, thanks, man. I was just like just some random regular guy playing Marvel Snap, and then of course, I started to get on the platform. I had a Twitter account. I looked at like all the Marvel Snap stuff, and I saw people posting decks and new stuff and ideas and videos here and there, reviews and all that stuff. I'm like, man, yeah, this is cool. This is cool. I have a little Snap group here in Germany, a little WhatsApp group, probably
Nice.
like 4, 5, 6, 7 people. I play hardcore Snap in there. They play hardcore Snap, and it was funny because I was like, yeah, man. I've been running a Galactus deck for a long time now because I love to play Galactus. Shout
Me
out to
too.
all the Galactus fam out there.
Yep. Shout
And I
out to
was
the
like,
Heralds.
yeah, I was like, yeah, man, I like this. This is good. I'm not like, nobody knows me and shit like that. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. So I'm just going to post this, see how it goes. And then I went to bed. I remember going to bed, and then in the morning when I woke up and checked my phone, I got splashed with comments and notifications. It was insane. I couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it, actually, how fast something can go. You're nobody or no one, and then the next day it just like changes.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Like, it's similar to when I started to do this. I had another podcast I've been doing since COVID, like a wrestling thing that myself and a friend of mine started because we were sitting at home and had nothing else to do, So, and then I started playing Snap. I really loved it, like yourself, and I thought, I'm just going to throw this out there. I never expected anyone to listen to this. I'm like, there's so many good people that do this kind of thing, great creators out there that do their stuff every single day. And I'm like, if I get like 5 people listening, I'm going to be happy. I just like talking about it. And so to see where it has gone in just a few months, I totally get where you're coming from. It's a cool feeling. It really is.
For sure.
The community is amazing. I'll be honest, like the community is amazing. The people are really cool and welcoming for stuff. And sure, you're going to see some negativity here and there. That's just that's what Twitter is, But for the most part, it's very welcoming. The people are really cool. But yeah, man, as soon as I saw that Galactus deck, I'm like, anytime I could see. I've been playing that card since I first opened it. I opened him from Spotlight Cash back in the day. Like when they first came, yes. It was literally my first big bad that I opened up. And when I got it, I remember telling people, I'm like, I looked at the wording and I'm like, the hell would want to play this? Why am I going to want to blow up the other 2 locations that I'm trying to play and win on?
I know what you mean.
But then at that time, I had no idea that the Spider-Man thing was going on, that you could web the other lane and they can't play. And
so disgusting. Spider-Man, man.
Yeah, dude. But the thing is, had I known about that, I probably would have been able to get in the game a little earlier with it because probably hardly anybody had the card. But yeah, I'm always looking for, and man, your deck, as soon as I played it, I literally definitely climbed about 15 or 20 levels with it.
That's crazy.
right up the ladder. So it was amazing. Brought back some great memories for me, dude.
Yeah, man. I remember when so Galactus was actually my first purchase in the token shop back then for
Nice.
6,000 tokens. That was my first card. I was like, man, this card looks so cool, and
Yep.
it was unique, and it's still unique to this day. There's no other card that has that animation. It just always
Yep.
feels it never gets boring because you're like, I know what you're doing with your deck, but I'm gonna get rid of all this right now. We're
Yep.
we're playing for one lane. I don't care. And the old Goliath. If you like have your Galactus out on 5 and you
Oh
have
yeah,
quite a
it's over.
it's over.
Yep. Yep.
I went infinite so many times with the deck, and it was a consistent deck throughout once all the cards were there. Before Red Hulk, I originally had Iron Lad in it.
Hmm.
The only downside was with Hobgoblin. But other than that, anything the Iron Lad hits in the deck is legit.
Yep.
Hitting a Daredevil, hitting a Shank, hitting an Alioth. You could even have no ramp options and hit your Galactus on 4 with Iron Lad
Yep.
for with 6 power. So it's pretty decent.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's
then
pretty cool how that card evolved, like I get it. So many people were in an uproar about that. They hated the card. They said it was too oppressive to play against and stuff like that. And I don't know. I guess I can see their point being on the other end of it, but now that he has the power that he has, and I know that the counter argument to that was that, well, he's easily countered. He kind of is, and especially now, like when you can play a White Widow on turn 2, throwing a -4 over into a person's lane that's just going to sit there. That makes it even harder for players that are playing Galactus to even get, you know what I mean, like to get
yeah,
that lane to play
yeah.
in. So yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
Go
yeah.
ahead. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
mean, I get the whole toxic stuff. It's always been there. Galactus, it ruins Marvel Snap. It's not the heart. It's not what Marvel Snap's about. I mean, I'm like, yeah, I mean, but if you have the card and if you like it, I mean, it's cool, right? I mean,
Right.
when you do it and you're having success, I'm like, okay, I can try to learn a new deck, play a hard deck, or I could just play something that I'm having fun with, and
Right.
I definitely started having fun when I play with Galactus. I mean, it doesn't mean you're bad or you have no skill. I mean, if you find a card or if you find a set of cards that you really like to play with, then you're good with the deck. No matter you have your own thing, you'll have certain shells for decks and stuff.
Yep.
But if you find your own thing, because the decks you see on the web are also decks of just people that they cooked and they thought, man, this is what I like to run, so I'm uploading
Hmm.
it, and sometimes it just works well for others as well.
Yep.
So I mean,
Yeah.
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 I mean,
100%.
Galactus, you can play around it. You can play around the card. Galactus is present in the game.
Yep.
If you don't like it, then play around it. And if you can't, then you get punished. Period.
I love that, man. Yeah, hey, it's like anything else. I mean, there's cards that I hate playing against. Cards that are tough to beat, and like you said, I
Yeah.
mean, I was having a hell of a time with Hella. She's hard to play against because
Yeah.
if 9 times out of 10, if they snap you, they have Hella. So it's either am I going to stay in this? Am I even going to bother, or am I just going to leave? And that's part of what Snap is. I mean, it
Yeah.
sucks
Yeah.
sometimes, but that's
Yeah.
part of the game.
Exactly. I mean, if I'm playing against the Hela deck and I'm running the Red Death deck, considering I got off my Nico Electro combo, I know you like that one.
Yep, that was a good one, man. I love that.
And if you get it off and you're playing against the Helen, I'll be like, okay, so I have some extra power now. I can drop my Pro X. Chances are high, once he plays his Hela, that they're going to spawn a random location. So you'll just use your Pro X and lock a location down that you'll win. And then usually last turn, you can pretty much predict where they're going to drop their Hela.
Yep.
And then you'll drop your Alliance, and then that's it. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, you mentioned that you shut down some Hela decks, right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
So yeah, it can work. Of course, it depends on RNG sometimes a bit. Sometimes you get screwed over, but usually, if you know how to pilot a Galactus deck properly, then you're good for sure.
That Alioth in that deck, and I mean, so many people wrote that card off when it got changed.
Yep.
But the way you had it and the way that worked in that deck, in my first 3 games the last turn, because like you said, you lock that one lane down. The last turn, they'll have that last turn pop off card. So a lot of them had Wong in that lane. So I'm like, oh, they're done. I'm just like as soon as I see the Wong, I'm like, yeah, it's over.
Yeah,
And then they had, like you were saying, Hella. I had a couple people try to play last turn Hella on me. I knew what was coming, and then I was like, nope, the Eliath just takes it away. And so that the card in that particular deck is still very, very viable and still really, really good.
It's legit for sure.
Yeah.
Old Eliath is cracked, no question about it.
Oh yeah, sure.
But new Eliath, you can run him if you find a deck for him. He is legit, and he's still a 5/8.
Yep.
I mean a 6/8.
Yeah. So the power is not bad at all. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I gotta ask you, and I asked this of all the people who I talked to on the show. Did you come from any other games prior to Marvel Snap? Because I've noticed that, people come into this game, you're either number one, a Marvel fan, or number two, you've played other card games in the past. For me, it was like physical card games in the 90s. I was playing Magic the Gathering when it was, we were going to tournaments and stuff, and I was playing across from people. That's kind of where it started for me. Digital games, I've tried a ton of them. Card games, not as much. But yeah, what's your gaming background like, man? Like what were you doing before Snap?
Okay, here's the breakdown. So I was never really a mobile gamer, not really. So I was more the PlayStation guy. So I grinded PlayStation for years. For the last 2 to 3 years, maybe I haven't been playing as much because I discovered a new hobby for myself, 2019, which is called kendama.
Oh, okay.
And kendama is basically a Japanese wooden skill toy where you can do tons of crazy tricks. And I discovered it 2019. I bought a cheap one on Amazon, tried the first few tricks, and then I went super crazy with it. So I created an Instagram account, which is also called Black Dama. If you guys are interested to hear what kendama is all about, you can check that out on my Instagram page. So black, of course, black. The 6, the letter B, is my favorite number, my lucky number.
That's cool.
Also good for Snap turn 6. So let's go. So that's nice. And then the Dama part is actually from kendama. So yeah. But once I got into kendama, I didn't really play games that much anymore, Didn't do no more PlayStation, but I have a PlayStation 5. I have the subscription and everything. I can play anytime I want, but I just didn't find the time lately.
Yeah.
So, but I definitely love to play those grind games. I'm a huge Dark Souls fan. I love all the Dark Souls games, I'm not no sweat, so I have all Dark Souls titles. I got Platinum Trophy, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, Sekiro. So I grind those games hardcore. I'm a super hard gamer. If I find something I like, I'll grind it to the end.
Nice.
So fast forward to when Marvel Snap comes out. My mobile phone contract was done, got a new one, and I got a new iPhone. So I got a new iPhone. I was like, yeah, man, I really like this iPhone. Yeah, I need to find some cool game that I can play, something just to try out the new iPhone, the new horsepower, see how good the graphics look and stuff. So
yeah,
I'm looking on the App Store, and then I see Marvel Snap. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm a huge Marvel fan, so my MCU knowledge is on point.
Awesome.
I'm up to date. I'm up to speed. Huge Marvel fan. So I'm like, okay, what's this? A card battle. Okay, I looked at it. Yeah, it looks kind of cool. I played Yu-Gi-Oh when I was young. I played.
Okay. Yep.
I played Magic the Gathering. I love to play Eldrazi, Remasuri. Those good cards. Those are my favorite types of decks.
Yep.
So yeah, so I downloaded it and then I started playing, and I'm like, man, this is some shitty ass mobile game. Maybe it's gonna start to charge me money. It looks cool, and then I was like, man, let me just play it a few. If it sucks, then I'll just delete it after a couple of days. And then so I started playing. Then I had another buddy who also started. I'm like, yeah, man, what collection level are you? He's like, yeah, I'm collection level 370. I'm like, whoa, man, I'm like 150. So how's it going? He's like, yeah, I like that. I'm playing this and this deck. And then you start to share, you start to talk about it. And I'm like, yeah, man, this is cool. And then you start to notice all the changes coming, new cards dropping. And then, yeah, man, the first few seasons I didn't hit infinite because it was super sweaty, super hard for me to like get the hang of it. But
Yeah.
I just stuck with it. And then I think I started going infinite when the Quantum Realm season came out.
Okay.
I started going infinite from that point and never not went infinite after that season. So I've been consistently on a streak now. And yeah, been grinding it out. Of course, you know, bundles come out, awesome variants come out, all that stuff where you're like, man, I need this. I need to get this. So yeah, I did my dues. I paid some cash, you know, to get the good stuff. But yeah, that's just me. I mean, it's a hobby, you know, I love it.
Yeah.
And if you have a hobby, then and if you can afford it, of course, then you shouldn't feel bad when, you know, if you either buy a $60 game or if I'll buy a card for $60. I know it sounds crazy, but you know what I mean? It's the same value because you play that game for $60 like until you beat it. And if it's one of those types of games, once you beat it, doesn't have any more value, then it'll just settle in the dust. But in Snap, okay, you invest $60 for your collection or for a card or for something because you're still consistently playing it, and it's worth it sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, 100%, man. I've over the years, even back when I was playing Magic, listen, that stuff can be expensive, right? Like physical card games, you go in on that, you know, I'd be going out and buying whenever a new set would come out, I'd buy a box of cards. Well, one of those boxes of cards, and this is back in the 90s. I can't imagine what they are now. But I mean, one of those boxes of cards would cost you $110 to get the box. And that's not even guaranteeing you're going to get a set. You're not going to get a set out of that box.
You're just getting like random cards.
Yeah. So it's expensive to play these games. I mean, it just is. But the good thing is, you know, and I like what you said about, you know, you drop $60-$70 on a game. Like for me, I like RPGs. I've always been a big RPG fan. So I like Final Fantasy. I grew up on that. I like the original one that came out for the old Nintendo, and I've liked them all ever since. But like you were saying, to your point, you can spend 70 to 100 hours on that game, and then you're done. There is no more. The game's over. You've beaten everything there is to beat. There's nothing else to do. You can't go back and replay it because you know the story and everything like that. So it's like, okay, you just spent $70 on something you're going to play through, and then that's it. You're done.
Exactly.
A game like this, you're going to throw down money. God knows I have. On Snap.
I don't even want to speak on that. I don't
me neither.
Speak on the amount.
I hear you. 100%. I hear you.
It's not crazy, but if I like think back, I can't even really give a concrete number, but it's not crazy, but it's still not a little amount.
Oh, I hear you. What's your collection level? Do you know it offhand?
My collection level is 17,800, I think.
I'm up to 27, I think.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, dude. But wait now, that's not even, I thought I was bad, right? I thought I was bad. I'm in a Discord server with some folks. I posted and I'm like, well, and then the next thing I know, I see one pops up with 70,000. Another one pops up with 60,000. I'm like, well, I don't feel that bad anymore.
Okay. You know, so I'm, you know, as of now, I'm good. All right. So everyone's saying, yeah, black whale out. You know, I'm a small whale, but damn.
Yeah, dude, it's insane what some
those
people
are those
put
people
into
that like buy everything in the game. They'll
Yep.
buy every day,
Yep.
every token Tuesday, every premium for you mystery variant bundle. They'll get everything.
Yeah, man, like it's insane. I had Super Tech God on my show, and he was. I wanted to talk to him because he literally owns every single variant in the game, which is insane.
That's crazy.
And
Shout out Super Tech God. Crazy.
Oh, he's such a good dude. But see, I didn't know he ended up doing that because of getting in on the beta. So he was able to get a lot of the variants through there without really having to pay for a lot of them because there were just different things going on during the beta that allowed you to do that. So he got a lot of his then. But yeah, dude, it's insane. And you can, I mean, look, and I guess while we're on this topic, let's get into it, because yesterday we had a patch, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people were upset by it because there were no card changes. But what we got these collectible borders, and I'll bring up the slide here real quick. So obviously a cosmetic, very similar to now. We just got over people being mad about the emote stuff, and now we got this. So the collectible borders were in your shop. You can now put these borders on any of your cards. However, you do have to pay for them, and you do have to pay for them for each card that you're going to use the borders on. So, you know, I know a lot of people are starting to get a little upset about the economy. They're getting a little upset about the money thing. I have a bit of a different spin on this, and I want to ask you what yours is. I see this as, look, companies have to make money, right? And we were talking about whales and stuff. They rely on those people to keep the game going. That's just how it is. And in video games, and you know this, you know, video games, even for the consoles, they're getting to the point now where to continue people, you know, doing things with their game, they're going to give you new things. So they might give you like new skins to play, like Fortnite, or they might give you new outfits, like a Spider-Man game, or they may give you like whole new board levels to play. But every single one of those is going to cost you more money. You're going to have to pay, like if it's a new board level or something, it might be 15, 20 bucks. If you pay for skins, they're going to be 5 to 10 bucks. I mean, everything now, and no matter what game you play. And I get it, mobile seems to stand out more in that regard. I don't know. But every game you play, they all have this. So I really don't understand like the outrage behind it, because these companies are in it to make money. I mean, that's just what they have to do. And if they keep putting things out there and said, okay, we're going to give you these new borders, they're all completely free, have at it, you know, they're not going to be around for very long, because they're not going to make the money they need to make.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, of course, Marvel Snap, when it first started, you know, it was pretty cheap, but as the time passed, as more stuff was introduced, it got expensive. But it has to get, or not expensive, but they, like you said, they have to give out certain things where, like, okay, we need to make some money so we can keep this thing going. But Marvel Snap does also, you know, if they screw something up in a patch or something's not working properly, you know, you'll always get a compensation. So that's pretty cool. There are not a lot of companies who, you know, they'll be like, okay, we messed something up. All right, well, screw you, basically. You're not getting shit, or you lose a stat, you know. Even when that bug was out where, you know, where you were not supposed to open your spotlight caches, I had one, and I didn't even know that there was a bug, you know. So the patch dropped or whatever it was, you know. I just opened one spotlight cache, and then I got the new Jeff variant. And then when I went on Twitter and saw that there was like this big spotlight cache where everyone said, "Yo, don't open up your spotlight cache," and so I was like, "Fuck." I was like, "Shit." Oh, but I got a Jeff variant, so, and I like the variant. But what's gonna happen now? So I'm like, "Oh, okay." I wait, and then like 2 days later, I got a spotlight key cache back.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Okay, cool."
So you got a free card.
Yeah.
You're talking about the U.S. agent debacle.
Yes.
Dude, that was a nightmare for me. I used I used 4 keys. I didn't know what was going on. I went in when the card came out. I'm like, okay. I go in and I go to the thing where you open the stuff, and I put my first key in. I got Mirage. I got the Mirage variant. I'm like, okay. I got put in a second key. I got the other variant. I think it was Jeff. So I got Mirage, then I got Jeff. I'm like, all right, it's going to be one of those weeks. I'm going to end up using 4 keys. Put in the third key. I got the 1,000 tokens because I had the variant. And I'm like, yep, 4th key. I put the 4th key in, right? I look at the screen, and it's just sitting there. So the number 1 is in that little tiny chest that opens, showing that the key's in there, and I'm clicking on it, and it ain't doing nothing. And then I look up there, and I'm like, I don't even see U.S. agent here. I see the variant for it, but I don't even see the actual card. So I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I'm pressing it. I'm like, all right, got to be something going on with the game, right? I log out. I log back in. In the meantime, I go to split a card because I had a card I want to split. It doesn't allow me to do it. So the collection track isn't working at all. Nothing's working on there. And I'm like, oh my God, right? I just wasted 4 keys to get nothing. And then I go in and I read about the bug and I'm like, oh my God. So I joined the big thread for the bug and I'm like, man, they better do something. But thankfully, I got the 4 keys back. So
Yeah.
they did the right thing by everybody. I mean, I got free variants basically out of it, and tokens. So I wasn't mad. It happened.
Yeah. I think mine was even bugged that I saw. I had 4 cards that I could unlock,
Yep.
and 2 of the cards was U.S. Asian, and the second card was his variant.
It's very
It was like in 1 slot. I'm like, okay, so I have a 50-50 chance of hitting him now. And then I tried my 1 spotlight key, and then I got Jeff. And then later I got the key back. I'm like, all right, nah, I'll just hold on to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was funny because later that night, I'm sitting there like I'm watching some of the content creators and I'm sitting there and I'm seeing them playing it. I'm like, well, geez, they must not have gotten the bug. Like this must not have hit everybody. And then I'm thinking to myself, you dummy, you just go in and buy the card with the stupid tokens. That's how they're using the card. They all got the card from the token shop. So it's like, but yeah, that was a nightmare. But what are you going to do? Again, it's something that everybody's going to run through it. There's going to be glitches in games. That's just how it goes. So
yeah, we'll just have to stick to it's a good game, and yes, it can be expensive. We all know that. You don't have to spend. It's free to. You can still be the free to play player type guy. Of course, if you have the money, if it doesn't hurt your wallet, then you can spend some. I know for sure I have.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And yeah, I think it's all right, but today you won't find many games that will be not have some type of in-game purchases. It's just how it is. They need to make money.
Right.
If we were in the situation, we'd probably do the same thing. So
yeah,
because at the end of the day, they're just people trying to feed their families. So
yep.
I understand.
Yeah, no doubt. And we don't know what their situation is. We know that the whole thing with Newverse is still, they're still going on, but supposedly they're splitting off from them or something. So we don't know what the situation is going to be. All I know is this: I love the game like you do, and I've been through this. There was a Marvel game about, oh God, I got to say it had to be about eight years ago or so that came out that I absolutely loved. It was a card game like this, but very different. And I liked it. And it was called Marvel Battle Lines. I played it for a bunch. Yeah, I love the game, but the game lasted literally 5-6 months. Again, now that game, man, you want to talk about that was a money grab. You in order to even be competitive and get the good cards, you had to spend a ton of money to buy these packs, and the packs, the better cards were always in one of the certain packs. I think it was gold, silver, whatever, however they did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the gold pack was super expensive, and that was the only pack you were going to get that would get you rare cards. Well, a lot of times you're opening that one gold pack, you're going to get 12, I think it was 10 or 12 cards. There would be one rare card in there, one. So if, you'd run the risk of either it being a lousy rare card or maybe something you already had or something else. So it was a nightmare. And I put down a good amount of money on it. And that game literally died in about 6 months. Yeah, and I remember them coming out. It was right before Black Panther, the first Black Panther film. And I remember they were saying they were coming out with a Black Panther set, and I was all excited. I'm like, oh, cool. And the next thing you know, you get an announcement the next day is like, nope, the game's shutting down. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh, that sucks.
So that's the thing, when you're invested and you're putting your time and your money into something, and all of a sudden, boom, it closes down. And look, you have to be realistic. Mobile games, right? The ones that last are very rare. Like, you want to talk about something as simple as a Candy Crush that people still play today. That's a rarity. You don't see that very often. So, as players like you and I are, and obviously supporters, we love the game. If you are similar to us and you enjoy the game, whatever you can put into it, right? And like Black Dama said, if you don't have the money, it's cool. You play the way you can play.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you do, and you want to throw a little bit into it, you're just helping the game to extend its life. Exactly. That's how you have to look at it, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, you don't have to. You can, but you don't have to. Mm-hmm. If you can, and if it doesn't hurt you, you'll have more fun. Of course. Yeah, of course it's cool. of course, if you're the guy who has every card, you'll like to go on YouTube and watch different YouTube videos and deck breakdowns and be like, yeah, I'll play that because I have every card.
Yep.
Instead of the person watching YouTube videos play this and this deck and they're like, man, 12 cards and I'm missing 8 of them.
Yep.
It sucks.
It does. Yep,
So
it does.
yeah,
That's why I like what Glazer does. Glazer's recordings and stuff with the decks and everything. He always gives people substitutes
yeah,
to play and stuff like that. So he
that's
does a
perfect.
great job with that. And
Shout out
yeah,
Glazer.
yeah, I know, right? He's the man. He was on my show last night. Him and I were
Yeah,
talking.
such a
He's
cool guy.
yeah. Oh man, fantastic dude. I don't know where I don't know where he gets the time, man. He's a teacher by day, and then does all these Marvel Snap things. I always tell him because my wife's a teacher. I'm like, man, I know where you're coming from. I don't know where you get the time and all that kind of stuff after a full day of teaching school, coming home, doing all these videos and everything. It's like, man, dude, that's amazing. He's a good dude.
Yeah, yeah. Just the whole Marvel Snap experience in the community. So my little WhatsApp group that I have here.
Yeah.
So one of the guys in the group was always like, man, you're always putting cool decks in the group, helping us to reach infinite and stuff, man. You should try to make a YouTube or do something cool or something. Like, man, I don't know, there's so many people doing stuff. But here in Germany, there's like little to none content creators like Marvel Snapwise. So when I posted the deck and I saw it go off, like hit me kind of. I was like, instead of just like waiting on the chance, I'll have maybe someone who has like some small connections to like the mobile community here who can probably make a meetup, but the Marvel Snap community is pretty much non-existent here in Germany.
Yeah.
Or it is in small. I just recently saw that there's going to be a Marvel Snap tournament here in Germany that just came out of the nowhere. I just
Wow,
read
that's
it
cool.
today. I was like, huh, what the hell? So I'm gonna have to check that out later, see what that's about. Might
Yeah.
connect with the people there to get the stuff going. But yeah, once I uploaded my deck and saw it going off, and getting all the appreciation, um, interacting with the whole Marvel Snap community, talking to people whose videos I've been watching for months, like Rituals and reading stuff on Twitter, Prashan, uh, Snap Judgments, everybody,
Yep.
everyone putting out content, I'll watch here, I'll watch there, because everyone has their own unique style. And,
Yeah.
I always like to get my stuff from everywhere, get my inspiration from everywhere. Then, of course, what I always like to do when a new card comes out, I won't go on Twitter. I won't go on YouTube. I'll just put the card down and just like be for myself for a couple of minutes, put stuff together and play a couple of rounds. Then I'll play a couple of more rounds. Then I'll swap one card or two. Then I'll play a couple more rounds. And I'm like, yeah, 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 this looks good. This looks fire. All right, I'll give it a try. If it's cool, it's cool. And if it's not, okay, then I'll try another deck next week.
Man, that's awesome. I used to love that was one of the things I loved about playing Magic was deck building. Man, I'd have my collection, I'd lay it out all over the floor. And I'd be sitting in my
Yeah.
apartment with my wife with my cards spread out all over the living room floor of the apartment, trying to figure out what kind of a deck I wanted to play and stuff like that. So talk a little bit about that, because I don't think that, look, my listeners and others, I don't think we hear a lot about the deck building process. So yeah, like how, especially in Snap, when you're kind of limited, right? You don't have, it's not like you have thousands and thousands of cards to pull from. So yeah, talk a little bit about that. When you're creating a deck, right? How do you start? Like, you were just saying you practice with it. Where do you practice with it? Do you go into proving grounds? I mean, yeah, talk a little bit about your deck creation. I want to hear about that.
Yeah. So, well, it's basically pretty simple. So we always know in the Marvel Snap community beforehand which cards are coming out.
Right.
So usually the thought process always already starts once you already see which cards are coming out. So for Valentina now, the consideration was, okay, reading the card text and what it's able to do. On first thought, this could be good in a Loki deck. Of course, a lot of people are that will be their first go-to. If you have Loki and if you have a solid deck, and especially if you love to play Loki, then you'll put it in there. So I always look at the card first, think about it, and then on the day it comes out, using my resources, I'll grab the card and I'll always make a fresh start. I'll put the card in and then I'll just look at the cards. I'll have it all filtered from 1 power to 6 power, and I'll just slowly browse through my collection, look at all the cards, and think what I want to do. I'll be like, okay, I definitely want this card in here. I want this card in here. And then I'll usually have like flex spots between 3, 4, and 5 cards, depending on the card. So I always like to go freestyle. And then once I have my card selected, I'll usually the first round that I play, I'll always do ladder. I'll just do a quick run, see how it goes. If it's good, I'll be like, okay, look good. Let me go into conquest. So I'll pretty much jump back and forth between ladder and conquest, depending on, okay, do I want to do a long session with this, what I put together, or do I want to do like quick sessions in ladder? And then after a couple of rounds, I'll be like, okay, this is cool. I'll keep it in the back end. Then I'll make another deck with the same cards, and then I'll swap out 3 to 4. And I'll do that a couple of times. And then at some point, I'll be like, okay, for me personally, this slaps. It feels good if you pull this and this off. I usually discover 2 to 3 more new combos or deck ideas or things that people didn't think about. Because what's also nice to do is just when a new card's come out, that you just don't like immediately like just post a deck, because there will always be someone who will post a deck with the new card,
Oh yeah.
So I'll just look at the decks, okay, I see a lot of decks. All right, they're usually running this show. These cards are main. They always put in that card. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's probably the best way how you can play that deck. But I just want to try something different, add a little spice, a little surprise factor, like the Quake Galactus thing with War Machine and stuff like that, and then or the Electro Nico and stuff.
Yep.
And then when you upload it and people start to play it, and then they discover it, then that's when it'll hit you like, oh wow, this is actually not that bad. And yeah, for some reason I somehow got lucky to get some new type of deck ideas down, and yeah. But it's pretty much like a freestyle thing. So I'll grab a new card, put it in, have some ideas, try something out, and just rinse and repeat. And at some point, I'll be like, all right, this fits. And then, yeah.
That's cool, dude. It's interesting you play it on ladder, because I can normally I would think that people wouldn't want to do that so much on ladder because you lose rank. But I would guess, when you get to a certain point, right, when you get into infinite and stuff like that, and if you're not really that interested in continually climbing, getting up to the top 100 or the top 50, whatever the case might be, that's always kind of the spot where you're like, okay, I got infinite for the month. I hit, I got what I wanted to do. Now I could just go in and mess around. Is that kind of what you do?
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I always hit my infinite so I can get a good night's sleep, because if I'm not infinite, I can't sleep well. I'll be in my group and I'll be like, yep, it's that time of the month again. Yeah. I need to grind out 2 to 3 days and get on Twitter fast. Yeah, hit infinite within 2 to 3 hours. I'm like, man, I gotta work. I gotta do this. I gotta do that.
Yeah.
I gotta get my shit done, and then I need to spend the night and like grind 2 to 3 hours. Then I'll go up to 93, go up to 99. Then I'll go back down to 96. I'll get frustrated. Be like, man, I need to calm down.
Yep.
And then once I hit infinite, I'm like, all right, I'm cool now. I don't really care about my rank. I just play like for fun, but I like to play competitive, So the funny thing is, to this day, always when it's the last week for Infinite Conquest, I have till this day not unlocked a single Infinite avatar.
I am right there with you. I have not either.
The funny thing is, a lot of people will like post it and use it as like a flex. I'm like, yeah, okay, you got like 20 infinite avatars. You must be good at Snap. But let me tell you, man, if we play against each other, and if I know what you're doing, I'm going to still kick your ass with my deck.
Conquest is very different. It is very different. Like you can be really good at Conquest. See, to me, and yeah, I'm not going to say I'm amazing at it, because obviously I never got an infinite border either. But number one, it takes a lot of time. You have to devote a lot of time to playing Conquest, because if you get in matches where it goes down to the wire and it's down to the last cube for each person, man, those matches can take 40 minutes, sometimes more. Two, it's a different game, right? Because you're by like the second or third game, what your opponent's playing.
Yeah.
So it makes it that much harder, or easier depending on your point of view. Because then you, like, let's say your opponent is playing Galactus. Well, Galactus, right? You play the deck, so now you can kind of predict what they're going to do. All right, I know exactly what they're playing. I know this deck, and so yeah, I see your point. It's very time consuming. I like proving grounds for practice. I've always done that. I've always practiced stuff in proving grounds. The only thing I will say about it, and the only one thing I'll say about Conquest that I like more than regular ladder, is at least you can get over bad RNG, right? Like regular ladder, you get into a game where you just have crap locations that are just going to kill you, or you just get bad luck and get a lousy hand at the beginning of the game or something like that. There's nothing you could do but leave. I mean, that's really all there is. Conquest, it's not going to happen every time. You might get a couple games in there that you get bad luck, but you're going to overcome that. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Turn 1 X mansion. Yeah, all right, I'm leaving.
You're right. Yeah.
I can't test my deck, man. Can't play with these random cards.
You know what it is with me is I don't know whenever I play a destroy player, every single time, I swear to God, and I know it's not, but I swear every single time I'll play a destroy player, they get something that destroys cards. One of the locations is one of the ones that destroys cards almost every single time.
Yeah, so it's like RNG always good for you if you play.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. Like I can't, and I know those locations are like they're common locations. They're not rare ones, so they show up a lot. But good Lord, everything you get, it helps destroy, and it's crazy. But man, yeah, it's insane.
That's why I got Pro X in some of my decks, because I'm like, nah, you're not gonna play your Deadpool every freaking turn. Death domain.
Right? Yeah. Pro X is a big card now, man. It's a big card because
about time.
Yeah, it's a big card. He got nerfed, but it's back now. And it's back because now you got these decks running with Cannonball, how about Cannonball, man? Cannonball was unheard of. Nobody wanted that card, and now all of a sudden that's like a huge card in Snap.
Yeah, I slept on him. I got him. Of course. I mean, I have all cards. I'm only missing US Agent. I could get him, but obviously, I don't need him right now.
Yeah. So he's a great pairing with Pro X, though. You lock that one lane down, and then that other lane you have Cannonball as your last turn. You're more than likely winning the game.
Yeah, I've seen the decks. I've seen them like, I need a little more spice though.
Oh man, I want to talk to you about some cards here. So we got some data mines for the Deadpool season. So obviously July, when the new Deadpool Wolverine movie comes out, which I'm super excited for.
Oh my God, that movie's gonna be so good.
Did you see the last trailer?
Yes.
Oh God, man, I've never heard so many F-bombs in a trailer, and it was beautiful.
Kevin Feige's allowing it.
I know, right? Everybody was like, "Oh, they're gonna tone down Deadpool," and then Feige came out and said, "Nope, it's gonna be a hard R." And I'm like, "Oh, that's amazing." Yeah, I can't wait. I'm super excited for it. Sure. But yeah, let's talk about some cards. And yeah, we're going to talk to the guy who builds these decks. So I'm going to get your opinion on some of these new cards that are coming out. So we've got Ajax. He is a 4/4 ongoing. He gets a +1 power for each card in play afflicted with negative power. So you'd think right off the bat, Hazmat. You're thinking like High Evo, maybe. What do you think about Ajax?
So I think, probably the first deck I'd probably go for is High Evo.
Yep.
Because the current High Evo deck is pretty legit, and Ajax could be a decent replacement. Probably think which card you'd replace, but obviously, using your Cyclops to dish out negative energy constantly will buff this card. You have a Wasp for an extra energy. I mean, it can be good. Not sure about the forecast, but can be a good card. Yeah,
and Scorpion too, right? In those decks,
yeah.
Because he automatically hits everything in their deck. So
Yep.
like every card they're playing comes out, it's going to buff this guy. He can get to be big, I think, in those kind of decks. So yeah, I would agree. High Evo sounds like a good place for him. Hazmat, of course, too, because she just does damage right across the board.
Yep.
So he's going to get big from that too. So yeah, kind of cool that they're giving negative stuff some play. All right, so we'll move on to, we got Hydra Bob.
Oh yeah, Hydra Bob, a 2/5.
Hydra Bob is a 2/5. After each turn, move to another location if you're losing here. So if you're losing the location that he happens to be in, he's going to Captain Marvel it, and he's going to move out to one of your other locations.
Yeah, it's a weird mechanic that you have to like wrap your head around. Like, okay, it's like one of those. Okay, if I had to improvise real quick, where would I run him? I don't know, man. We'll just have to wait and see. It's very unique, and I'm pretty sure he can be good.
Yep.
I'm probably thinking somewhere maybe Lockdown could be really good with him.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Lock his ass down, or create a copy or something like that, and then we have like 2 units moving around. Yeah, I mean, new cards like that are cool because it'll give you like new ideas. People will come up with stuff.
Yep.
And that's where also I'll be like, all right, everyone's thinking of this and that, and okay, I'll try to fit this into something else and see if I can make it work.
That's awesome. I was thinking Ms. Marvel, because most of the time you're losing the Ms. Marvel lane anyway, right?
Yeah.
If you have it in the middle, that lane's usually not the one you're going to focus on. So then if he bounces to one of the other lanes, you don't have a 2 card over there already, then you're getting a nice bump of 5 in that lane with Ms. Marvel. So that's what just crossed my head. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to figure it out. All right. So the next one, we have Copycat. Copycat's a 3/5. Yeah. When you draw this, steal the text from the bottom card of your opponent's deck. Now, could you imagine? We as Galactus fans, could you imagine? Right? But could you imagine if she stole Galactus? Let's say your opponent's playing Galactus, you're going to steal Galactus, and it's a 3/5 guy.
Hey, Joe, just real quick. Side note. Today, Marvel Snap game, I played Valentina, I pulled a Galactus, and I got my Galactus off.
Did you?
On turn 3.
That's fantastic, dude. I saw a couple of streamers I saw do it. That's hilarious, man. When you get that Galactus, people are like freaking out. God. They're like, I got the Galactus. I haven't yet. In fact, it was funny. My first pull of the 6, Agatha.
Oh yeah. Well, it's either Agatha or Galactus, right?
Yep. I didn't mind it. She actually won me the game because she's still a pretty high-powered card. And she really couldn't do stupid stuff because I think I got her like, I think 4th turn in the game, so it wasn't that bad. And then I think she played herself out right away the next turn because I was getting energy from Summers.
She's not a bad pull. I mean,
no, big card.
She'll if you have Quinjet out, she'll play herself on 3, or she'll play herself on 4 if you don't.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Yeah, not a bad card at all. Yeah, she's pretty good. She's got a good amount of power. But yeah, Copycat's going to be fun. A lot of people have that last card in their deck that is usually an important card. I mean, I know for me, if I play Hela, most of the time she's the last card in my deck. So you're always going to grab something probably pretty good here. Yeah. I think she's I think she's going to be fun.
She could synergize really good with a lot of different things. She'll also be good in an Iron Lad deck. Could be like a copycat type of deck, triggering the effects multiple times. Yeah, you can cook some fire with that card for sure.
Yeah, she's gonna be fun. We have this. Now this is interesting.
Oh my
god. Right. So she's the villain in Deadpool. But this is interesting because looks like we're getting a new card mechanic, right?
Yeah.
Called Drain. It says on reveal, drain 1 power from each card in your opponent's deck. Now, I imagine it isn't specifically saying, and I guess we probably won't find out until they release the card as to what drain is. But drain to me sounds like she's going to drain 1 power from each card in the deck, and she's going to have it.
Yeah,
right?
That's exactly what it is. That's
has to be.
Yeah, that's how I also understand it.
Yeah, has to be, right?
Also synergized with Ajax.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, like hitting. So if you have if your opponent still has 7 cards in his deck, that'll be 7 power.
Yep.
And that's 1 on reveal. If you trigger it twice, let's say you play her on 3, you play her to the right, and then the next turn you play Grandmaster. so you get her to trigger
Oh,
again, and then the final turn maybe some type of Arnim Zola maybe.
yep. Or you
Yeah.
slap the Ajax. The Ajax would be huge.
Oh my God, yeah, for sure.
It would be
Ooh,
huge with all the
we're already
drain
cooking in
power.
here, man. We're already cooking in
Yeah, I
here.
see that. Yeah, there you go. Deck guy's always thinking, right?
Yes,
Um,
sir.
then we've got, well, there's Galactus. I had to show that off.
Yeah, of course.
Dude,
For the
this is
G
coming in
fam.
the Spotlight caches in, I think it's June, that we're getting a Galactus week in the Spotlight cache. He looks, I didn't know who that was at first in front of him. That's Kyera,
Yeah,
from
Kayera, yeah.
it's from the Son of Hulk comic books, which I didn't see. I'm gonna have to go back and read them now that I know Galactus is in there. But man, oh man, this is
Yeah,
gonna look.
it's for the G fam, Joe. It's for the G fam. Of course, I have dozens of Galactus splits,
Me too.
obviously.
Me too. We got to
And
compare
yeah,
someday, man. I have. Oh my god, dude!
yeah, I'm hunting.
I own every single one of his cards. I
I,
think I
I
have everyone gold and ink split. I think.
I'm missing which variants I'm missing. I think I'm missing two.
Okay.
So I'm missing the pixel one,
Yep.
and I'm missing the I think it's Max Greek. Yeah.
The Max Grecki one, the one where he's pointing.
Yes, exactly. I'm
Yeah.
missing those two.
Yeah.
And did you see that chibi one that's been out like forever?
Yeah. The Chibi one still hasn't come out yet. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
we need to get that too. So
We do.
I'm a
Yeah, we
huge I'm
do.
a huge Kim Jacinto fan. So when that was in the Spotlight cache, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm getting that.
Yep. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah. His variants are fire. I like
Oh my
the
God, yeah.
what's your favorite one?
From Jacinto?
No, your favorite Galactus card.
Oh okay. All right. Let me think. Oh, it's a neck and neck with the Jacinto and the Dan Hip variant.
Yep. Yep.
I'm a huge Dan Hip guy.
Oh yeah, me too. I love Dan Hip's art. I absolutely love it. I know there's a lot of people who it's not for them, but I love his art. I think his art's fantastic. Some of
Because the
his
cards, they look like kind of cute, but
yes.
when you get your ass kicked, they're not that cute anymore.
I love his Man Thing. I love
Yeah.
the Man Thing card. It takes up the entire card. You can't
And
even see the background.
And oh my God, today you saw the post from Dan Hip. He did a Dan Hip Pro X. My favorite
no
card
way,
in the
did
game.
he?
Yes, I reposted it. It's like he's in there, yeah. Dan Hip Pro X. I've waited so long, and he's finally coming sometime. Yeah, crazy.
Now you're gonna make me go and check your post because I want to see what this looks like.
Oh man, it looks so cool.
Oh my gosh, dude. That's awesome. Hold on one sec. I'm pulling it up right now. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm gonna show it.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't wait, man.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Look at it. Look at the little
So
card.
awesome.
Almost looks like it has eyes on it. His little wheelchair
so cool.
thing.
Yeah, it's so cool.
He does such cool stuff. He also has what is it? Is that Darkhawk or Angel? No, that's Angel.
It's Angel, yeah.
I love his art, man. His Helicarrier too is one of my favorite cards in Marvel Snap.
Yeah, Helicarrier is definitely.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
I like this Howard the Duck one as well. I mean, I don't play the card, but I have it.
Yep. Yeah. Dan Hips are awesome. I absolutely love Dan Hips. They bring a smile to my face. There's a deck I have that has almost all Dan Hips in it. Yeah, I love it, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the season pass card. Gwenpool. Gwenpool is an on reveal. Pick a random card in your hand 4 times. Give +2 power each time. So she's going to just take random cards. Now, it could be the same card 4 different times, depending on, you can manipulate this, right? She's a 4/4. So a lot of times when you get to that point in the game, maybe you don't have that many cards in your hand. So you can always manipulate it where she's going to pick the same card, or maybe one of the 2 cards there or something you have in your hand that she's going to hit with that +2, +2, +2, +2. What do you think of Gwenpool?
Yeah, she can. It's a cool card. 4 cost. It's all right. The effect is strong, especially because it's an on reveal. So same principle. If you manage to double trigger this, imagine you have like Sebastian Shaw in your hand. or you have like a double
Ooh.
Sebastian Shaw.
Ooh.
You know, something like that. You know, that's what I'm like thinking. Like, oh man, this could be cracked. And then in the silver surfer list, maybe.
Yep. Imagine if you throw
But
her in the
that,
Wong, if you have the Wong surfer, you throw her in a Wong lane.
or
Holy
yeah,
cow,
crazy.
dude.
Or like could also maybe work in a discard deck if you like keep hitting your Apocalypse or
That's true. Yeah.
hitting a Red Hulk in a hella discard deck before you like discard your whole hand and bring her back.
Yep.
Stuff like that, yeah. Or
Yeah.
Iron Man hitting an Iron Man multiple times.
Oh man, like in a tribunal deck.
Oh my god. Yeah. You heard it here first.
Right? Yep. That's it's gonna be a fun season pass card. It really
Yeah,
is.
for sure.
And this card's been lying around forever. This has been in the data mines for a long
Yeah.
time.
You know that one card that's been like in the data mines for like since day one? I think it's called Yo-Yo.
Yo-Yo. Yep. She's from Agents of Shield. She was in the TV show that not many people watched, but yeah, she's like the Marvel's equivalent of the Flash.
Yeah.
She runs really, really fast, and what's her card? Her card's weird. It like moves. It follows a card around or something like that. It doesn't seem like it's
like
really
that.
good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like it's been there for like forever.
We were talking about this on one of my other shows. You know what I want to happen that's in those data mine cards that hasn't been released. I want the Jonah Jameson card. I want that to come out, dude. Now that
those bad emotes,
he changes the emotes, dude, and they're hilarious. What he changes them to, oh my god, it's so funny. Now I know, sometimes people mute you, so it wouldn't even be worth it, I guess. But man, I'd have him in every deck just to change those emotes. He'd be in every single deck that I play.
For sure, yeah. Especially in like a sweaty round where you're like going all in and then hitting those emotes. Yeah, can be toxic for sure.
Oh yeah. It could be. Yeah, it could be. No doubt. There's a Thanos variant that's coming up. Actually, that one is. Yeah. I think it's also June. It's in the same month as Galactus, and you could see like the death heads above him in it. This is going to look pretty sick split. I think.
I was just about to say in split or in inked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a relatively recent artwork too. This came from Thanos had a mini series last year that this came from actually, where he's hunting. Nice. It's a good series. He's hunting for Lady Death, who actually she took the form of a human, of a younger woman, and so he's hunting her down because he knows that's her. And then at the end of the series, he encases her in a stone. So basically turns her into a new black Infinity Stone. So it's really good. It's a good series.
Crazy. Okay.
Yeah. It's a cool series.
Can I read that on the Marvel Unlimited app? Do they
have because it's older. So it definitely should be on there. It's like a 5-issue miniseries. And they're continuing it this year, which is going to come out, I think, in July or August or something like that. But yeah, it was really good. Nice. Yeah, it's really good. Check it out. It's a good one. Yeah, then we have this badass Venom.
Yeah, that one looks sick. Yeah, I saw that yesterday. Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's
destroy people out there. That's fire.
Yeah, no doubt. And then we have more albums that are coming out, which is always cool, right? Ways to get stuff. Peach Momoko has an album coming out. We have
another hip.
We have another hip album. That's a Hip Move, Dan Hip Move album. We have Chibi's.
Ryan Gonzalez, maybe?
Yep, Ryan Gonzalez, Chibi, and then No Chibi, Ryan Gonzalez. And then we have Baby's album that's coming out too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. You're gonna get those.
We're like I said, man, we're getting stuff. They're still treating us nice. They're doing the best they can. It's a good game.
Yeah,
like I said to the conversation we had before. So yeah, it's not like they're not doing nothing. So it's fun and they keep it fresh. When the clans drop, you know what time it is.
Yes, sir. You know that deck right up there pretty well. That's your. That's familiar. Yeah, man, that's the War Machine deck. That's amazing, dude. Like there are cards in here I would have never have thought that you can. But the play with Storm and War Machine is just fantastic. And then you know, and I'm thinking to myself, well, how can you make that happen? But then the Quake move, dude, genius.
Yeah.
Absolute genius, man.
It just hits people in the face so hard. I've once you in general win so many cubes because your opponent is not expecting, because it's not a typical play. It's not a typical Galactus play, but when it lands, when you get the combo down, it's, oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah, it's great, dude. It's really awesome, and yeah, Prof X, of course, in there, Galactus in there, and Red Hulk is in there as well. Yeah, it's a great deck, man. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you. Glad you like it.
Yeah,
Glad
it's
you
so
like
much
it.
fun.
Did you manage to get it off? Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I did several times, actually. I didn't think, when you're looking at it, you're thinking to yourself, yeah, there's no way you're going to, but you do. And it's a complete surprise to the other player. They're not going to usually be prepared for it. And yeah, it's really fun to play. It's really fun to play.
Nice.
And then, of course, Valentina. This came out yesterday, was the last card of this month. And yeah, I'm going to have you talk a bit about this card, because obviously, man, you've got something in the works. You're not going to spoil it, but you've got something cooking with Valentina. And it's got to be Loki, right? Because we've seen the Loki tease. I haven't played Loki in months, but I was playing this card in Loki decks yesterday. So I'm very interested to see what you've got coming out, because this card's just a fun card. You're gonna get misses with this. You're gonna get cards like Apocalypse that you're gonna do nothing with. But when she hits, whether you get a Red Hulk or whether you get a Doctor Doom, or like we were talking about earlier, you get a Galactus, it's a really, really fun card, man.
Yeah, Valentina's great. So same typical rituals, waiting for it to come out, thinking about what I want to do. So I love to play Galactus. I love to play lockdown decks. Some of my favorite cards, Galactus, Pro X, Daredevil, and Loki, of course. So I play a lot of Loki because ever since Loki came out, it's been refined. Of course, it got nerfed a bit, got turned to a 4 cost, and all that stuff. You know, you'll have metas where Loki decks are not good. You'll have metas where Loki decks are insane, cracked. You have singular cards coming out which will enhance the deck or will be a good counter to that type of deck. So getting Valentina now, so I thought about a Loki deck, and I have a Loki deck. Of course, a lot of people are posting Loki decks. You'll have same principle, a main shell. You know, you'll run that card, classic. You have to have Quinjet in your deck. You know, for Valentina alone, you know, when I was talking to Flash a couple of days ago on my Twitter Spaces that I hosted, my very first, the topic came up where I was like, yeah, you know, Valentina's cracked because if you play Quinjet on turn 1 and you drop Valentina on turn 2, you play your 6 costs on turn 3.
Yep.
You know, that in and of itself is pretty insane. You know, and if the card's a bad card, like, I don't know, let's take Apocalypse, for example.
Yep.
So he's a 6/6, he gets hit with 3. He's a 6/3 then.
Yep.
A dead card, pretty much like, yeah, you don't need to play that. So if you pull a bad card, you can locate it away later.
Very
so
true.
It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I tried it out, had good success, and have this deck finished and ready, and definitely can't wait to post it. I really like Valentina. She's a good card. I have 2-3 cards in my Loki deck, which are a little bit different than what the typical Loki deck is made of. So I'll post it, see how it goes, and yeah. But I think she's definitely solid in the list that I cooked up.
What did you think of the month overall and the cards we got? I mean, obviously we look back, we got Red Hulk, which was a banger. That card, you know, that card is almost in every deck. You know, so yeah, what did you think of the month overall? I liked White Widow. I thought she was pretty good. I enjoyed her.
Yeah,
I played in junk decks and stuff. She was really good. But yeah, what did you think of the season overall?
Yeah, overall, the season was pretty decent. I mean, we had worse seasons before, but the cards that came out, you know, Red Hulk in the first week was insane, super cracked card. You saw it everywhere.
Yep.
You know, I owe it to Red Hulk. Yeah, I owe it to Red Hulk a little bit. You know, and getting out there in the Marvel Snap community now that I'm at a point where I'm like, yeah, man, I can do this, and I'll just try to go with it, see how it goes.
Yeah.
People like what I cook up; it makes me happy, and then I'll just keep going. And who knows? Maybe someday I'll get it to pop off here in Germany, maybe, or something like that. It would be super cool
Yeah, it'd
if
be
I can
awesome.
make that happen. And Baron Zemo, also, those mill decks, super nasty, super new deck mechanic, new deck ideas, losing all your cards, not being able to draw any cards, sometimes on turn 5, sometimes on 6, having no cards on 7. Pretty insane. You have US Agent. Okay, I didn't get him because I was like, he's a little bit underwhelming for me, but he's cool. I think being priced at 6K is probably a little steep.
Yeah.
He'd probably be a better Series 4 card.
Yeah.
Maybe for 3K, but that's just me. Valentina now, of course, insane. Can't wait to post the deck. We had the patches, last patch now. Okay, we got no changes, which is a bit of a bummer, but I'm like, all right, I know we're upset now. We're a little disappointed, but I know Second Dinner, they're doing their thing, and they'll make up for it in the long run. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, it was a good season. I got to Infinite pretty fast, probably like 2 days or so, maybe.
Nice.
And then just like, do my dailies, look at the bundles, grab a variant, just chill out, play some games, cook up some ideas, and yeah. So now,
Nice.
now that I'm in the scene a little bit, the small guy, okay, I'm in the scene. Black Dama's here now, so I gotta stick with it now. I gotta deliver on a constant basis, and I'm happy to because I love having all these possibilities. I owe it to Marvel Snap to be able to talk to you, to talk to everyone, to be out there. So I'm super honored, and yeah, I'm definitely sticking to it, and yeah. Super cool.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, we all look forward to it. You're definitely a staple out there now in the community. It's awesome. Everybody looks forward to seeing those decks and everything like that. I got one last thing to ask you. You said you're an MCU guy. What's your favorite Marvel movie?
Whew. Okay. You want to take a wild guess?
Oh man, I can go up and down a list of thinking. I'll pick one that I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends say that it's their favorite one. I'm gonna say Winter Soldier.
Oh my God, you're correct.
Did I pick it?
Wow. Wow. It is Winter Soldier. Yes.
Tremendous movie.
It's
Tremendous movie.
It was just like a typical scene flip. It was so cool. The lighting, the effects, Winter Soldier, the whole fight scene on the bridge.
Yeah.
The reveal. Oh man, the Hydra, all that stuff. Oh, it's so good. Such a classic.
Tremendous movie. It really was.
That's why I'm like, man, come on. You put out Winter Soldier, and then why are you doing him dirty in Marvel Snap?
Yeah.
Don't do Captain America dirty, man. They need to rework the card just like they reworked Spider-Man.
Yes.
Give him something cool. He's like a staple. He's like iconic.
Yeah.
Come on.
What would you do with Cap? What would you do with Cap if you could? I know I had Gunny T on, right? Gunny T made a suggestion that he throws his shield, and that when he throws the shield, it goes into the other lane and either takes power off the cards there, or the shield goes into all three, and it'll hit 1, 2, and 3 and do like, let's say, -2 to one card in each lane or something. That's what he came up with.
Yeah. So I thought of the shield thing as well. Like you play him and then you get the shield. And then, like, if you play the shield, it'll have like some cracked effect. Like it'll just outright just destroy a card on the opposite side.
That'd be awesome.
Something cool, but it would be too busted. But no, what's also cool, maybe like an on reveal that you'll call out the Avengers. Maybe like you'll get Thor on your hand, you'll get Iron Man for like a discounted cost of 1 or something like that.
I like that.
That would be cool. But who knows? They should do something about him because, man, come on.
Yeah, it's an iconic character. It needs a little bit better treatment. I get it. I understand them saying, well, it was one of the first cards people are going to get. We can't really do, but that doesn't matter.
I mean, look at US Agent,
Yeah.
I mean, remember the show, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yep. So that guy in the show, he's better than that guy in the game, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Wait, what?
Cap needs love, man.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my God.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt Captain America needs some love.
What's your favorite movie?
Mine? Who I'm probably gonna go. Winter Soldier is definitely up there. That's definitely my top three. I would have to say Infinity War, and only for the reason because I am a big Thanos fan. When I first saw Avengers, right, the very first Avengers, and the post-credit scene came on, and Thanos is in. I knew what was coming. I didn't know ahead of time, but when I saw the throne, I'm like, oh my god! I'm sitting in my seat like, oh my god, is this Thanos? Is this Thanos? Is this Thanos? And then all of a sudden I see him, and I'm like, yes! I'm literally acting like a goof in the movie theater. I'm like, yeah, it's Thanos, right?
And everyone's like, yeah, who is that?
They're looking at me like, what the hell's this guy's problem? Yeah, it was awesome, dude. One of my favorite books of all time. Comics, and I've read comics forever, and Infinity War and Infinity Gauntlet are stellar books. And I when I saw him, I was like, oh man, this is amazing. Also, I have to shout out to a TV series, of course, a TV made for TV film that they did, Werewolf by Night, the black and white one, and only because my boy Man Thing is in it, man. And I finally got to see a decent rendition of Man Thing up on the screen, which was absolutely amazing. So I love that, and I love the way they did it, the old style black and white,
was super cool, like a complete new style. And just watching that on Halloween, it gives it another sort of vibe. It's really cool.
Yeah,
funny story, because you said Infinity War is your favorite movie. Okay, so check this out. Watching from the very first Iron Man back in 2008.
Yep.
Fast forward 10 years, Infinity War is about to drop here in Germany. So for me and 4 buddies, right? We drive to the theaters. I told my buddy, do you want to get the tickets for all of us? Take care of all that. I'll drive. We'll split the bill. We'll get it all hashed out. Like, we're all super excited. You know, Infinity War, you know the hype. You know how hyped you were to go on.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be the best movie experience ever. So we get to the theaters. He had the tickets. And so, you know, we're getting our popcorn, getting our drinks, getting our food. And so we go into the theater, and I'm like, all right, we're in the row C, seats 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we walk up to the row, and there are people sitting in our seats, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why are they sitting in there?
Oh, no.
And just to remind, the movie's like about to start in like 10 minutes or so, right? So I'm like, yo, we need to sell this fast before the movie starts. No, I cannot skip on this movie for nothing. You know, It's been 10 years. You know.
Yep.
If I have to kill someone to watch this movie, I will. So we go up to the people and we're like, "Hey, man, you guys are sitting on a seat," and they're like, "No, we're not. We paid for these seats." I'm like, "We have our tickets here with the rows and the seats that they were sitting in."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, here's our tickets, man. And you're sitting in our seats, our row." And then they pull out their tickets, and they have the same row and the same seat numbers as we do.
Oh man!
So you picture me here in a German theater here in Germany. I'm holding the tickets in my hand, and I'm turning to my buddy, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, "Man, help me before I lose it. Before I lose it, my heart's thumping. I'm scared. Did we mess something up?"
Yeah.
So then one of the workers from the theater comes up to us, and I'm like, "We need to settle this because for some weird reason, they have the same ticket numbers that we do in the same rows and seats. They're sitting in our seats." So the theater worker looks at our tickets, and they're like, "I see the problem." And I'm like, "Oh my God, what's the problem?" And then they tell us that my buddy, he bought the tickets, but you have the theater that we were in, you have the exact same theater about another half an hour away from where we were.
Oh, no.
And he accidentally bought the tickets for the other theater.
Oh.
So now we're in like 2 minutes left. Everyone's getting settled in. Everyone's hyped. I'm standing right in the theaters in front of all the people with my buddies. We have the tickets for the wrong theater. I'm like, there's no way in hell that we're getting to the other theater within.
No, you'd missed the whole beginning. Yep.
I'm like, what are we doing now? So like, man, you had one job You had one job, 10 years, man, and you messed it up in the last minute, man. Why are you doing
Oh,
that? And he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Everyone's looking at him like, man, you don't fuck this up for us, man. Don't fuck this up for us.
oh
And
my
then
God,
and then
dude.
thank God the coworker was so kind from the theater that they managed to organize us a seat within 1 minute. They're like, all right, we got it. People aren't coming. You can seat here. And then everything was good. And we got to watch the movie. It was amazing. It was insane. But it was like one of those last minutes. I'm about to die because wow. Because when he ordered the tickets, he like clicked the wrong location from the theater that we were
Yes.
going.
Yep.
It's like the exact same theater. They're both identical, but they're in different cities, pretty much.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you would have missed the whole first half of the movie, probably.
Oh,
Oh
my
my
God,
God, dude.
But yeah, it all went out in the end. So yeah, but we always remind him today. So
That's a story you'll remember
but yeah.
forever. Yeah.
So when Endgame came out, I'm like, yeah, I'm buying the tickets this time.
I don't blame you. Now, were you so in Endgame, right? I can go on YouTube and I can watch, clips of people at the end of Endgame when obviously when the portals show up and everything like that, and you hear the "on your left" thing. Were you in a theater where everybody was like screaming and yelling when that happened? Like really excited when that part happened?
Yeah, I was super excited, going crazy. But the Germans here, a lot of the German mentality is that the Germans have like a stick up their behind.
Yeah, a little reserved. They're
Yeah,
more
like
reserved. Yeah.
yeah, but I was like, yeah, man, screw this. I got my boys here. We're all going crazy, and yeah, we did go crazy and it was insane. Captain America picking up the hammer.
No.
And, oh my God. Oh,
There's people in our theater yelling, "Cap is worthy! Cap is worthy!" I'm like, oh my God, that was one of the coolest experience. And I mean, listen, I've been watching movies since, oh my gosh, the mid '70s when I was a young man. When my dad used to take me to stuff. The first big movie I remember ever seeing in theaters was Star Wars in 1977. So when he took me to see that, and I can remember, as a kid, 8 years old, sitting there watching Darth Vader appear on the screen for the very first time and taking my breath away. And I'm like, that part of Endgame, man, I've never sat in a theater with a part of a film like that when it was so exciting and everybody was like screaming and yelling and cheering and stuff like that. That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It really
definitely
was.
Yeah. It was still a crazy experience. I mean, man, I wish sometimes I could erase my memories and watch it again, just like the Loki series.
Yep.
Loki series also was so good. Like the last episode, just thinking about it just gives me goosebumps.
Oh man, yeah. When he becomes like the ruler of the universes and stuff. Yeah, dude.
That's what's also so cool with Marvel Snap, because if you have the full MCU knowledge, you'll cherish little small details in Marvel Snap. Like, yeah, you have Lamentis 1 revealing on a location. Like, yeah, if you watch Loki, you know exactly what that is. It would just feel even cooler because you have the background. Or like you have like a Ravonna Dan Hit variant with Miss Minutes on it. And like, yeah, it's just some card. But if you watch the show, you know exactly who that is and how it all ties in together. So man, a lot of cool stuff, MCU based stuff, and all the titles and stuff. Yeah, man, it's just like, it's awesome. It's an awesome game.
Yeah, it's so cool for me because honestly, I grew up with the very first Superman was the first superhero movie I saw in the theater with Chris Reeve, and then Batman, of course, we got in Michael Keaton in 1989. Yeah. But I never ever thought we would get movies like this. I never thought we would see movies like this, and now it's become a regular thing, and it's so exciting for me. Reading comic books from when I was a very young kid up to now, and now seeing a lot of this stuff that I read coming into play on a screen is it's amazing. And that's what brought me to Snap, man. It really did, because like you were saying, it's a great point. This is just a fun game. We all love Marvel. We like to watch this stuff. We talked about X-Men 97 a little bit earlier. I mean, it's just a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
It's so much fun to watch and so much fun to read about. And then you see it happen up on the screen, dude. It's just an awesome time.
Yeah, it's like great, like I said, it's a cool game, so I'll play actively. I'll still keep playing, see how long it goes,
Yeah.
Just happy to look at new cards and see new stuff come out. We'll see when Mephisto comes out sometime.
Oh my gosh, right? Mephisto doubles your winnings. Can you imagine that you get 16 cubes instead of 8?
But what would suck if you lose, then you lose 16.
Then you lose the 6. Yeah, could you imagine losing 6? Could you imagine being like at rank 95 and losing 16 cubes? Oh my God.
Oh, or 99.
Oh my God. Hey, what do you think of so I'll ask you this too. What do you think of Arashim, man? How cool is that card going to be to play?
At first I read it wrong because I was like, okay, when it started, like I read it like as if you only could put him in like one deck slot, and the other 11 cards can be whatever, because as soon as the game starts, all those cards are going to get randomized. That's what I thought at first. And then when I read back at it and then I looked at it, I was like, oh no. So you create your whole deck and then you'll get in another additional 12 cards.
Yeah.
That's how it reads, right?
Yes.
So you have like 24 cards.
Yep. You're going to basically have a double deck. And you get yep.
Mm-hmm. So what I thought was cool is that, maybe Arashim could be like a catalyst for draft type deals.
Yeah, that's what it's funny you mention that, because when I first saw the card, I'm like, okay, everybody in Marvel Snap wanted a draft mode. They wanted a new mode, right? And so give us a new game mode. Well, here you go. That's what this is. This is a draft mode for Marvel Snap. I think it's going to be great for like the creators, because those guys, they now can say, all right, in our streams today, we're going to do Arashim. We're just going to do Arashim games.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, because
for sure.
And for guys like you can build a deck around this.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, I have so many ideas. I have so many ideas, man.
I bet, man. I bet. Like for you, this is going to be something else, because you're really going to have to play around the fact that, okay, yes, I can put these cards in here that I want to have in there. Like somebody was saying, well, you're going to want a Quinjet. Absolutely. But the thing is, are you going to draw it?
Yeah, so then you'll probably need to have Marvel Snap with like 20 turns to see all of your cards, maybe.
Yeah, exactly, man. This is going to be fun for you. I know you're going to enjoy it.
You know what card's also going to be insane with Arashim? Darkhawk.
Oh, Darkhawk's going to be going to get right up to the #1 played spot with that. Yeah, if anyone's playing that, you have Darkhawk in your deck, you're going to kill. Yeah,
like imagine if you want to get really crazy, you'll put Thanos and Arashim in one deck and be like, all right,
my God,
yeah, I'm putting as many cards in here as I can.
Oh my God, could you imagine? That would be hilarious.
I bet someone's gonna play it, man.
And then somebody's sitting on the other side with a Darkhawk that's like 60 power, and you're like trying to fish around. You're like, well, I know I have a Shang-Chi in here somewhere, but now the whole fact of the matter is I've got to be able to get it.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my God.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Yeah, it is. I love draft mode stuff. I think it's fun. I used to go to draft mode tournaments and stuff all the time, and it's cool for guys like you too, because it brings out your creativity.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's really what it's all about. Well, that's awesome, man. Look, I'm not going to keep you any longer. I know you just got off work and stuff like that, but man, thank you so much for coming out. You are an awesome. You're absolutely awesome. I love the decks you do, man. I am like all the other people out there that watch Twitter every single day to see what you've got going on.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man, I love it. Tell my listeners where they can find you, man.
Okay, so everybody, Marvel Snap, if you want everything's Marvel Snap, then you can follow me on Twitter. It's pronounced Black-Dama, just for everyone, just in case, because, I had that come up. Do you pronounce it Black-Dama or do you pronounce it 6LACK?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, come on, guys, don't do me dirty. You can read that. You know what my intention is. Come on, guys, come on. So, yeah, you can find me on Twitter. And my other main hobby, which is Kendama. If you want to check that out, you can follow me on Instagram. It's the same name, Black-Dama, where the B is a 6. And yeah, Joe, thank you for having me on. I'm super honored, super excited. It's also pretty cool, because my girlfriend sometimes she's like, "Hey, you're playing that stupid game again." I'm like, "Yeah, well, look, that stupid game now. My face is on YouTube, so now
there you go." I get you, man. My wife's always wondering, like, I'll be sitting here talking. She's like, what the hell are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, it's, you know.
Yeah, I'm talking about my card game. She's like, oh, you're talking about that stupid card game? I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, look. And then she's like, okay, that's cool, actually. I'm like, yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying.
You're right. Take a couple minutes to really understand and
Yeah.
learn a little bit about it, and you'll get it.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
actually really fun, man. Yeah, dude, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
like I said, I'm super blessed. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone listening. Thank you for taking the time. Shout out to all the people that I've been interacting with lately. You know, it's definitely it changed my view on all this, and you know, I'm super excited. I definitely want to get more into this Twitter thing. You know, I want to definitely host another Spaces. If you have the time and you want to hop on there and just have like a cool chat, then definitely hop on. Which is, I think it's a pretty cool idea directly on Twitter to like interact with the Marvel Snap community.
Mhm.
Just to be like, hey, I have an open space. You can join in. You can listen. If you want to say something, let me know and we can hash it out and talk. So yeah, it's such a cool idea. I have a lot of stuff planned, things in my head that I want to do, and you know, I'll just keep being like creative and try to come up with cool decks that people like and have fun. At the end of the day, man, we all love Marvel Snap, and if I can make someone happy with a deck and cards that they love to play, man, then that makes me sleep better at night for sure.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I love to hear it. Nothing but positivity. Love to hear it, man. You should think about starting like a Discord or something at some point too, maybe when you get a little bit going.
Yeah,
Right?
like I said, you know, I'm still way fresh. I'm finding everything out. I mean, man, since I've been doing my kendama thing on Instagram, you know, I know
Yeah.
my way around social media. I know how, you know.
Yeah.
And then you know, I got a little game in me. I'll put it like that. So I'll just expand on that, see how it goes, and just keep on building my stuff and definitely stay connected to everyone and see how it goes. And maybe I can definitely someday build like a good Marvel Snap community here in Germany, because it's still pretty unknown. Maybe that's a chance that I can grab.
There you go.
So yeah.
There you go. You actually had Prashant and Glazer fighting over who'd get your deck list first. It was hilarious.
I hashed it out.
Did you hash it out?
I hashed it out. I hashed it out for everyone.
I had to get in there, and I'm like, well, wait a second. He's on my show tomorrow, so let's not fight over this.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It makes me feel like a celebrity. So like, man, I must be doing something right, you know. Man, I don't have the craziest collection level, you know. Well, yeah. Depending on however you want to look at it, you know, I don't have any infinity borders, man. But I can play a good game of Snap on a day. I can kick your ass.
There you
can
go.
kick my ass, but I can still kick your ass, you know. if the RNGs are right, I'll get you at least once.
There you go. There you go. Oh man. Well, that's awesome, dude. I love the positivity. And yeah, man, it was a pleasure having you on. It was great meeting you. And man, you're welcome back anytime, man. If you've got
Definitely a hop on again. Need to do this again. And yeah, man, like I said, I'll keep it coming, keep everyone excited, and I'll do my best. And yeah, wish everyone the best, and everyone has a great day and a good time in Marvel Snap.
Absolutely, my friend. You do the same. All right, guys. This has been another episode of Snap Decisions. Make sure, obviously, you check out Black Dama's Twitter. He's always got those great decks coming out, so keep your eye on that. No matter what card comes out, you're going to see a deck from him. So make sure you check him out. Also, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you're listening on YouTube. Hit the like button as well. If you're listening on audio, I love all of you guys there, too. So please leave some comments, obviously, on there. Rate the podcast and do all that good stuff. This has been your Marvel Snap DJ, and I will talk to you all in the next one. Have a great one, guys. Stay safe. Be kind to one another always, and I will talk to you all soon.